The phrase conspiracy theory often has a negative connotation tied to it. It often conjures the image of some lunatic wearing a tinfoil hat screaming his rantings to anyone that'll listen. Despite that, there are some occurrences where a conspiracy theory actually does have some merit to it. In these rare circumstances where someone has knowledge that is damaging to the powers that be, the consequences can be brutal. One such instance that everyone is familiar with is John Lang, where he believed he was being targeted by the police for exposing corruption within the department. The string of videos he uploaded documenting this harassment were followed by Lang's untimely end, in a case that still perplexes people to this day. Cases like these do happen, and they will continue to happen. Not long ago, an account on TikTok started documenting a situation very similar to this. A few years ago, a TikTok account emerged by the name of Mercedes Munoz that would soon lead to a string of very memorable events. Mercedes believed that she had just uncovered a conspiracy involving local law enforcement engaging in drug and human trafficking. They acknowledged the potential danger they are putting themselves in by going public with this, and to make it even more risky, they believed their neighbor was one of the major players involved in this conspiracy. The suspicion began when she first suspected her neighbor of drug trafficking because of the strange delivery she noticed him making at odd times. It was nothing too noteworthy at first, but as she continued to watch, things only got stranger. Soon, she started to point out more odd things that were occurring at night. The first of which being vehicles arriving near the neighbor's house, stopping momentarily, and then driving off. The initial thought, like I said before, was the neighbor engaging in some sort of illegal activity. Now, typically, you'd want to keep illegal activity away from the police, but that's the opposite of what the neighbor appeared to be doing. Mercedes began posting footage of the neighbor having brief meetings with police officers right outside his house. The evidence was still sparse, but Mercedes believed she may be onto some sort of drug trafficking conspiracy involving the police. But what she was about to stumble onto was much darker than that. Now, while at this point it all seemed like wild speculation, what was interesting was that the police seemed to take interest in Mercedes as her videos became more popular. Her surveillance camera caught multiple instances of police officers wandering around her property at odd hours as if they were searching for something. Whatever Mercedes had stumbled upon, she figured it must be something deep, and there was no turning back now. Mercedes kept a vigilant eye over everything that was happening, when suddenly she discovered her next lead. One night, she noticed the van from one of her earlier videos stopping on the street, letting some people in, possibly children, and then driving away. According to Mercedes, this was not the first time this had happened. Human trafficking, she thought? As she continued to investigate, she found out that the van was bringing these people to the missionary church of the Disciples of Jesus Christ. And to make things even creepier, she recorded this strange congregation of people outside the church at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mercedes' audience, which had grown quite large at this point, was intrigued. But they weren't the only ones who were intrigued. Whatever it was that she was onto at this point, the people responsible must not have been happy. Mercedes started documenting what seemed to be targeted harassment toward her as a means of intimidation. One of the first, more subtle cases of this was when her surveillance cameras caught this video of someone, who Mercedes claims is a member of the Disciples of Jesus Christ Church, driving by her house and smiling at the camera. This was followed by footage of police being a bit more confrontational with Mercedes than we had seen before. A good example is this video taken by her surveillance camera as she was pulling into her driveway.
Do me a favor, stay back there. Stay back there. Stay back. Stay back or you're gonna get detained too. Stay back.
However, the most notable incident would be a time where the police made a big scene in front of Mercedes' house in response to an incident that apparently never actually happened.
This is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We want to make sure you're okay, so come to the front door with your hands up.
What?
Sheriff's Department! Come to the front door, open the door, see
Yeah, and I can see you too, and I don't know what is going on.
Open the door.
Why? What do I do? I'm scared. What is going on?
Hi. Everyone okay? Everyone okay here? Yeah. Can we see your hands real quick? For me? Both your hands. Someone called 911 from this house, from this area, saying that there's someone that pointed a gun at them. You know about that?
No. I was just sleeping.
Okay, that's why we're here. From what we see here, it's none of you guys, right? So maybe someone else is over here and called and left.
Yeah.
Sorry about all that, okay? No. Sorry, but you guys can go back in the house. Thank you.
Despite all of this, Mercedes never let up. She continued relentlessly posting videos and keeping her audience informed. Unfortunately, it looked like all this sticking to her guns was at the expense of her cat, which according to one of her posts, she found dead outside one day. The pain of losing a pet in this way is strong and cuts deep, and incites a type of rage that just makes you want to shoot someone. Now, with every conspiracy scenario like this, we really only see things through the eyes of the person documenting the situation. Wouldn't it be interesting to view this from the perspective of the accused? Well, in this scenario, we actually can. Let's have a closer look at this neighbor who Mercedes believes to be at the center of this major conspiracy. The neighbor's name is Luis Garcia. Living with him are his partner, Vanessa, and their 2 children. Interestingly enough, they also have a TikTok page where they too have been documenting some strange behavior. Although from their perspective, it's their neighbor that has been stalking and harassing them to no end.
The stalker.
Norma Munoz.
You're stalking me.
She says we're stalking her.
But yes.
You can clearly tell we're trying to stay away from her. But yet she has a pole with the camera pointing into our backyard so she can spy on our kids. Still getting followed. Here she is following us while we're packing our groceries.
Looks a lot different from this perspective, huh? As we'll see, just about everything we've seen from Mercedes has been a total lie, including her name. Her actual name is Norma Munoz. Mercedes is her sister, who she lives with. This TikTok page, created by the Garcias, was in response to all the wild accusations made by Norma. Norma's audience got so large and so dedicated that some of them even started to harass the Garcias. One of them vandalized Luis's work van. Defending themselves against these baseless claims made by Norma was a daunting task, but it was one that they took head on. So you're probably wondering, how the hell did all this even start in the first place? It all started back in 2021 with this text exchange between Norma and Vanessa. Norma, who introduced herself under the pseudonym Desiree, texted Vanessa asking for her help. Her cat was missing, and she needed help finding it. Yes, that cat. Norma just wanted Vanessa to check the surveillance cameras around her house to see if it caught any footage of where her cat may have gone. The conversation started off quite friendly actually. That is, until Vanessa responded that unfortunately, her surveillance camera was disconnected during the time frame Norma was inquiring about. This set Norma off on an unhinged rant about how Luis must have killed the cat, and now they're trying to hide the evidence. The argument devolves into name-calling and racial slurs from Norma. After their initial conversation, Norma wasn't finished. In fact, she was just getting started. Almost immediately after this, she made a post on Nextdoor accusing Luis of being a gang member and telling all the neighbors to watch out for him. From here, Norma would spend years harassing the Garcias while posting this completely fabricated reality of her uncovering a conspiracy on TikTok, with some of these videos reaching hundreds of thousands of views. Behind the scenes, Norma would continue to argue with them, telling Vanessa that she looks like a man and repeatedly using racist remarks.
Tranny, nobody wants to look at you. You're the one that killed my cat. You're such a lucky. You need to go back to Mexico when you put up.
The Garcias did go to the police regarding Norma's behavior, but they were told that there wasn't really much that could be done. They did, however, manage to get a restraining order against Norma, which unfortunately also didn't do much. In fact, it just strengthened the conspiracy in Norma's mind, as now she believed that the judge who approved the restraining order was part of it. In an almost humorous way, this led to an awkward game of cat and mouse between the Garcias and Norma, except both of them were both the cat and the mouse.
July 7th, 8:47 p.m. This woman that we have, the restraining order, is following us. She's been following us for about 5 minutes. She's right behind us. That's her vehicle. Here she is, following us again. Over there. She right there? There she is, Norma Munoz, following us. Get the license plate, Josh.
On the bright side, it wasn't long before the Garcias were able to get the word out on what was actually happening here. Most rational people can take a look at this and clearly understand that Norma is not mentally well. Soon enough, most people who once sat on the fence about Norma's claims now understood that she was the problem. Norma did not take this well. She seems to truly believe this delusion of hers and has gone to great measures to make sure her delusions are seen by as many people as possible. At the moment, there are dozens of alternative TikTok accounts that Norma has made where she's posting the same types of videos. She even creates alt accounts with entirely different names to defend herself in the comments. So far, Norma's behavior just seems creepy, obsessive, and defamatory, but we have yet to see what Norma is truly capable of. On 4/20 of this year, the tide turned. While some of you may have been getting blazed on this day, Norma was going blazing herself. Guns blazing. On this day, Norma was arrested for shooting at her sister, Mercedes. We don't know exactly why she did this. All we know is she shot at her sister and then she was arrested. Luckily, her sister was not seriously injured. But this was great news for the Garcias. This could finally be what puts an end to the harassment that Norma was putting them through, right? You'd think, but unfortunately, things are never that easy. Shockingly enough, Norma was released from custody only a few days later. Once again, it's not entirely known how she managed this, but I'm assuming her sister didn't want to press charges against her. After her release, her TikTok posts became even more unhinged than before. Norma takes advantage of the name of the TikTok accounts to pretend to be her sister so she can pass off the blame for what happened. Part of this maneuver included some disturbing posts that hinted at further potential damage to people. She even allegedly made threats of committing a massacre at a school. Shortly after these posts, her main account was finally banned, but the dozens of other accounts still remain. To this day, Norma continues to walk free. This is legitimately terrifying. Norma isn't just delusional, she's dangerous. I know that you usually can't actually force someone who is mentally ill to be hospitalized, but you definitely can if that person is a threat to themselves or others, and this situation definitely applies to Norma. So far, no one's been seriously hurt, but every day that this problem goes unaddressed, the likelihood of someone getting hurt goes up. A mental health professional needs to be involved with this right now. I'm telling you, something bad is going to happen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side. Okay, so I just finished editing the video and watching it, and I feel like the way that I presented things, I'm worried it's going to get misinterpreted, so I just want to clarify something really quickly here. Norma is just as much of a victim as the Garcias are. She didn't choose to be mentally ill. No one chooses to be mentally ill, and I'm sure that with every moment of clarity that she does have, she wants nothing more than to just get better. And while I do think that she's clearly dangerous and it's worrying that nothing's being done about this, I just want to make it clear that what she needs is not to be, harassed or berated online or anything like that. What she needs is help, and she deserves that help. So I just wanted to make that clear.